Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that calm, slow, relaxing breath, and as you breathe out, allow your eyelids to completely relax as you focus on the muscles in your jaw and release tension and feel that tension leaving your body in that outward breath. Breathing in a feeling of serenity, calmness, and relaxation. I want you to imagine tension around your body like ice. Think of tendons and muscle tissue and imagine them frozen solid. And I want you to imagine the most beautiful sunset you've ever seen. Remember where you were and remember the color of the sky and the sun during that sunset. And I want you to imagine breathing in that color of the sun. A sunset is a very different color than the midday sun. So breathe in those oranges and reds, representing the ability to thaw that tension. Imagine that vibrant orange, maybe yellows and pinks, all the different shades of red going in through your nose. And imagine it has warmth. Just imagine that warm color of the setting sun is seeking out all of that icy tension in your body. Imagine those warm colors just releasing any tension in your forehead. Just feel it melting away. Think of your temples. And sometimes muscles are tense without you realizing, because they're permanently tense. But the way you figure that out, paradoxically, is to make them even more tense. To create even more tension in your face, your jaw, your neck and your shoulders. Really increase the tension and then breathe in those sunset colors. Feel that tension melt away. And then breathe it out on that outward breath, relaxing all of those muscles as you do so. And notice you can experience a new level of relaxation. That when you tense something and release it, it becomes more relaxed than it was before. In the same way that when you inflate a balloon and deflate it, it's not the same shape as the balloon was before it was blown up that first time. And I wonder where else you can find tension in your body. Maybe your neck or your shoulders. Maybe around your throat. Maybe down your arms. So breathe in deeply imagine that icy tension crystallized into the muscle tissue. And then breathe in those sunset colors. And just feel all of that tension melting away now. And as it does so, feel a wonderful sensation of release, that you really are letting go. That's it. Feel a lightness, a looseness, as you continue to breathe in those warm, vibrant colors and see that icy mist leaving your body in that outward breath, giving you evidence that tension, stress, and perhaps other things as well are leaving your body. Maybe you can allow shame to leave your body in that outward breath. Maybe regret. Maybe guilt. As you breathe in and breathe out, each breath is taking you deeper and deeper relaxed. And I want you to think of a memory where you made what you would now consider to be a mistake or a decision that led to days, weeks, or months being wasted. But I want you to go back to that moment as you are now visiting that future moment in the past. See yourself as you were from the perspective of where you are now. And I want you to feel not judgment, but empathy. Maybe what you know now is different to what you knew back then. I want you to get a sense of what was going on in your world at that time. And one of two things will happen as you observe this moment of regret or waste. Maybe you will find understanding or empathy with how that decision was made. Maybe it was driven by emotion. Maybe desire or fear. Or maybe the empathy is you were doing the best with what you had at the time. And maybe back then you had less experiences to make good life decisions. So search yourself for that empathy, that perspective. Or maybe you just made a bad decision, in which case extract all of the wisdom from that experience. As an observer, you have the ability to not just know what happened, but know the implications and chain reactions of what happened. To extract all of the wisdom, all of the insight, knowing that you can go back to this and think of a different moment in time and extract all of the wisdom and insight from that different memory, but for now focus on one. And when you feel that you've reached that equilibrium of empathy and understanding, but also simultaneously insight and wisdom, let me know by nodding your head. And And therefore, in that moment, I want you to freeze time so nothing moves except you and the version you were back then. And I want you to feel a complete sense of forgiveness for that younger version of you. But forgiveness without wisdom is meaningless. So have that conversation with that younger version of you. Let them know that you are from the future, and let them know the consequences of that choice, that decision, or maybe lack of a decision. Maybe it was inaction that caused the issue rather than an action. Let them know all of the ramifications, and then forgive that younger self. And that younger self may not even realize or think they've done anything wrong, and yet you can forgive them anyway. But more importantly, tell that younger version of you that they are loved, that they are deserving, that they are worthy, that everyone makes mistakes. The important thing is to learn from them. And if you've reached that place of forgiveness, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And as you experience that forgiveness rippling through time from the past to the present, I want you to feel even more tension leaving your body. There is a lightness, a freedom, a looseness rippling through tendons and tissue there in your body. And I want you to think of a location that you've been having migraines. And as you think of that location, just imagine a sensation of what a migraine might be in that location, and just dial it down, shrink it down, make it feel less. And I want you to get a sense that the more you extract wisdom and insights from your past, and the more you forgive your past and anything that came from it, the more you are acknowledging that you are human. We all make mistakes, and mistakes are fine if we learn from them. We all have regrets, but if regrets shape the present and the future, then they serve a function. You learn more from your losses than you ever do from your wins. And get a sense that you're becoming wiser, but also feel that you are worthy of love. And I want you to think of a place with a full-length mirror. And we're going to call this mirror a mirror of worthiness and self-love. And in this mirror, you can only see a reflection, the reflection of you that you love, admire, and respect exactly as you are. No conditions, no criteria, no rules. And I want you to get a sense that you are looking into that mirror now. And I want you to focus on all of those things that you admire about the person you see. Maybe it's their resilience, their integrity, their characteristics, their personality. And the more you spend looking into this mirror, the more there is to notice. All those attributes you respect, admire, and love. That's it. Until you can see a version of you that you feel that the baseline level is indeed someone that is worthy of love and is loved. And when you reach that place, let me know by nodding your head. And when you arrive at the conclusion that you've always been worthy of love, you didn't need to earn it or deserve it, and you didn't need to be punished by having it taken away. Again, notice a lightness there in your head, a looseness there in your jaw. Almost feel a desire to yawn as you feel deeper and deeper relaxed. I want you to think of a memory where you knew that you were loved unconditionally by your mother. And when you can think of that time, let me know by nodding your head. A time when the intensity of that unconditional love was at its highest. I want you to see your mother and see that younger version of you. But this time, step into your mother's body, seeing that younger version of you only through the eyes of self-love, unconditional love, complete acceptance. I want you to see what she sees in you. That if someone said that her daughter would only be worthy of love if they never ever made a mistake, never wasted any time, decluttered a couple of rooms, I want you to feel what she would feel if that was the criteria to be worthy of love. And if it now feels almost ridiculous to have arbitrary criteria to be worthy of a basic human right, let me know by nodding your head. I want you to hug yourself the way perhaps your mother hugged you back then, and then switch perspectives and feel that unconditional love. Feel that hug from your mother, knowing there is no criteria and conditions. And notice how good you feel. And when you feel this good, try your hardest to feel the sensation of a migraine. And notice that you can't do it. That when you feel loved unconditionally, the migraine isn't there. And I wonder if you're willing to play the role to yourself, the role that your mother played for so long, the giver of unconditional love. If you're willing to now become the torchbearer of that love, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to think that the love is always there, but you can just enhance that love, that acceptance, whenever you forgive yourself. Whenever you make progress in any area of your life, you don't need to do that thing to be worthy of the love. It just enhances the love you already feel for yourself. I want you to see a version of you that's been living with this unconditional self-love for several weeks. I want you to imagine watching that version of you as you sleep, and notice you're sleeping better than ever before. I want you to see that you seem to be more organized, getting more things done, not because you have to or need to. You just feel that you've got more energy and more desire to be more decisive, to do more things. And the more of those things that you do, the more of a feeling of pride that you feel. But you're doing it from a place of organization, of being the best version of you, not to be worthy, but just because it makes you feel good and makes you feel even better. I want you to see yourself maybe 6 months or a year from now, standing in a room that used to be filled with clutter, and instead having completely transformed that room to a haven of self-love. This room is now just for you. A place for you to relax, maybe exercise or meditate, or maybe to pursue passions and hobbies that you always wanted to, and now you feel that you can. And if you can see that future, let me know by nodding your head. From this point forwards, a migraine is not a problem. It's a messenger, a nudge. A nudge perhaps to forgive yourself more, to love yourself more, to do more of those things that will mean that there are fewer regrets in your future. And whenever you listen to the migraine and do those things, the less frequently the migraines will appear. I want you to consider that a migraine now is your own personal life coach. If there's a migraine, it means there is an empowering change that you can make, but not to be worthy. You are already worthy. It is simply to enhance the quality of your life. And if you're willing to perceive migraines in that way now, don't be surprised if in a few weeks or months you've made so many positive improvements and changes that the migraines simply aren't needed anymore. And if that feels like it's a empowering, helpful way to think of them, let me know by nodding your head. And so it is that you do think of them in that way. Allow all the changes to take place. And when you're ready to be counted up from 1 to 10, as someone that loves themselves unconditionally, accepts themselves unconditionally, that wants to raise standards, not to become worthy, but just to enhance the quality of your life, let me know by nodding your head. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose, and wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. Connect fully into the present moment as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.